Welcome to another edition of Selling Life and Annuities. I'm Randy Pearson, Vice President of Life and Annuities for Gordon Marketing, and today I've got our annuity RVP, Tim Luby, sitting here with me, and we're going to be talking about choosing the best retirement income source for your clients. Stay tuned. All right, Tim, so the question is out there, how do advisors especially utilize our services in determining the best income source for their clients?
Well, it begins with the call. They call us and describe the client that they've got, how old they are, what their objectives are, typically retirement income, but when. If you're talking about a younger person that might have 10, 15 years before they want to turn on retirement income, or you might have someone that's 67 and ready to turn income on right away. So all those things kind of factor into how we determine what the best source, what the best strategy for them to pursue distribution of their retirement savings to them in retirement.
Raw data, information about the client that most advisors can acknowledge or recognize that they should be obtaining to assist you. What other information might be necessary in helping you as the marketer, as the wholesaler of annuity products? What other information might be germane or critical that they need in helping you guide them to the right solution?
Well, really, where it fits in their plan. How these assets fit in. We have a lot of different options that can help. That we can draw from to put together the right income strategy. The sources. Immediate annuities have been around probably the longest. Of course, that involves typically giving up an asset in exchange for a guaranteed income, but an income that can be guaranteed for life, which is very strong. We also often will sometimes use just the free withdrawal provisions on an accumulation product and not get into like a rider or give up the asset. Those can often work depending on the nature of the client's need for income. But what we're using an awful lot these days are the guaranteed income riders that are available on fixed indexed annuities.
Do you use any special tools or techniques? I mean, what do you do to make or assist the advisor in making that determination?
That's a good point, yeah. We have some really outstanding tools as an organization that can help us. If you're thinking about an immediate annuity, we can get the highest incomes for what you're trying to do from everybody in the industry and determine exactly what the highest income would be for a 65-year-old male on a life-only basis. So we have tools like that. We also have a rider comparison tool that can give us the highest incomes that are available on an income rider basis for what you're trying to do for your client. So it may be, a 60-year-old that wants to turn income on in 5 years, and we can show you what the very best options in the market available for that are. We can give you a comparison report that will show you the top 2 or 3 options that are available for you.
All right, very good. So certainly we all recognize that due to healthcare and eating better, exercise, people are living longer. And I would assume that on a daily basis, you're getting advisors, agents reaching out to you with these kinds of questions with a wide range of ages and demographics. So, how do you determine, can I just assume that there are better options, say, for a 75-year-old versus a 55-year-old? How does that work?
That's a great question. And it definitely has an impact on the strategy or the solution that we end up landing on. When you're talking about guaranteed income guaranteed for life, the payouts are based on life expectancy. So the older someone gets, the shorter their life expectancy is. So the older they are, the higher income we can get them. The flip side of that is for younger people, a lot of times, policemen and firemen, municipal employees sometimes can retire very, very young, under 60, let's say. So the factors, the withdrawals, basically their life expectancy is longer. And so a lot of times we'll have a little bit harder time finding a really competitive income for them using some of the traditional methods out of the box. So what we might end up doing in situations like that is we can often provide a higher income guaranteed for the life by doing a split, doing something like a period certain for a period of time, and then taking advantage of the really superior rates that are built into some of the income rider products over time. So that's an idea where older is going to be rewarding, younger, there's other ways we might have to get there.
Yeah. One of the gratifying things that I've seen in the last, say, 5 years or so of my 30 to 35-year career in the business is that consumers and even the mainstream media seem to have kind of come full circle on annuities, particularly fixed indexed annuities, and how they can provide those kind of guaranteed incomes for consumers that, having suffered through some down markets, are much more interested, right? It's not about how much money I have, sitting in a bucket somewhere. It's about how long will that money last me, right? And making sure that I have the income. So, I mean, with that in mind, as our time is quickly running to an end, can you mention one or two of our favorite income products that are out there that maybe an advisor can reach out and have a conversation with you about?
We do, yeah. We've got a couple new proprietary products that are really winning a lot of cases right now. They're not going to win all the time. We're always going to try the best solution for that specific client and what they're trying to do. But I can tell you some of the ones that are winning a lot these days are Global Atlantic still wins a lot of cases. Athene's been very strong in income for a very long time. A new carrier for us is Protective, and they've been very strong on the guaranteed income side of things. So those are a few of the products, carriers by name, that are winning some cases.
So earlier in the conversation, you mentioned a comparison, and as you just kind of alluded to, different carriers win the day depending upon factors relating to the client or what a carrier has available in the market at that particular time. So what I would suggest is if you're an advisor watching this video and you've got a case that you'd like to run by us, we can run that comparison for you, no charge, and help you determine which of those hot carriers out there are best suited for your client in their particular circumstance.
Absolutely.
So with that, we're going to call this episode of Selling Life and Annuities to an end. I want to thank Tim for joining me today, and I want to welcome you to every episode of Selling Life and Annuities. Tune in on Tuesdays. Make sure you click the subscribe button, and we'll be sure and let you know when that next episode comes to being. So thank you very much for joining us today. We'll look forward to seeing you then.